Brand New Day reactions are out, and they're signaling exactly what I feared, but also anticipated. So let's talk about that. What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. I am Nick, and today we're going to be discussing the reactions to Spider-Man Brand New Day as critics, influencers, and a whole slew of other people were able to see the movie a couple of days early. Now when it comes to reactions for movies like this specifically, and really any movie in general, but especially IPs, I do have a lot of distrust and reservations for early reactions because you have critics who are trying to secure their next early screening, you have fans who are going to glaze everything related to their favorite thing, and you have influencers that are trying to get big reactions for the views. Now that's not everybody, as there are some people who definitely go into these things and have nuance in their opinions, but there are a lot of things online where you kind of have to just take things with a grain of salt, if that. Now, with that said, though, I do think these reactions say a lot about what this movie is going to be based off of what we see from the trailers, where we have a lot of reactions saying that it's not just the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, it is one of the best Spider-Man films in general, with a lot of things talking about the emotion and a bunch of just unforgettable moments, some massive action, and really just a lot of people saying at face value, this is one of the best Spider-Man movies that we have gotten in a very long time, and a lot of people pointing to Spider-Man 2 as the big comparison here. And this is big talk because, as we know, Spider-Man 2 is the best live-action Spider-Man movie, and it is also just one of the most favorited comic book films in general. So when you have big reactions like that, I want a little more to those. I want some nuance and explanation as to why we're throwing that around instead of just going for clicks. And I'm not saying those people are only saying that for the clicks. I want a little more than just saying that in reactions. Now, something that I am seeing a lot of people say is that Tom Holland delivered his best performance as the character yet, which I completely believe just from those trailers alone, and just the way that Tom Holland has evolved as an actor. Now, a lot of these glowing reviews do also give some more detail in here, where we have some reviews saying that the action is absolutely amazing, which believable with the director of Shang-Chi, Daniel Cretton, taking the role of this, and the emotion very much being hammered in with this, especially with them teasing that MJ and Ned are back, so how is he going to deal with those two not remembering who he is? And then also the whole mutation for himself as well, and a lot of other things going on, how he's going to grieve Aunt May in this movie, find his own independence. I can totally see where this is very emotional, and Daniel Cretton's debut film, Short Term 12, is absolutely an emotional film, so the guy is very good at action and he's very good at emotion, so I totally believe a lot of this. Now, we also have the Rotten Tomatoes score, which, how Rotten Tomatoes works, 93% of people that saw the movie did like the movie, which I think is a massive plus, especially comparing it to how this is the highest rated live-action Spider-Man movie, tied with Spider-Man 2 and No Way Home, which I think is massive acclaim here. I mean, even though No Way Home is a movie I very much enjoy, it is more of an event film, so seeing a bunch of people say that Brand New Day is a standalone, grounded tale, I really love this for Spider-Man as a character. Now, in these glowing reviews, there are some more where are they influencers who just love the character and are gonna love it no matter what, but how about some trusted critics that we all know? And I think Matt Neglia at Next Best Picture is a very trusted critic in my eyes. He loved Brand New Day, where he said that Daniel Cretton brings a lot to the director's chair, bringing a very grounded approach and back to basics thing over John Watts, and he does think that the MCU charm is still here. Then you have other critics like Austin Burke and Sean Chandler who are basically saying that this brings us back to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in the way that we see Peter Parker struggle, which I think is something amazing to have in here, making a great Peter Parker movie, and then the Spider-Man stuff will follow suit. And also saying that some of the action is the best that we have gotten from MCU Spider-Man. And then Sean Chandler also bringing up that Spider-Man and Punisher's chemistry is absolutely fantastic, which is something that I was very much excited to see, having these two on screen together. He does mention that it is a bit overstuffed, which I will get to later, but says that fans will be pretty satisfied with this one. And then you have Chris Parker, 3C Films, the Spider-Man fan himself, saying that this is exactly the movie that he was waiting for, with amazing character arcs, some awesome action and visuals, and loving the Punisher and Spider-Man dynamic. Now, this is all great to hear, and it's just kind of reinforcing that, hey, maybe this movie is actually going to be very good, because I think a good point brought up by Vets Movies that he tweeted out is that Spider-Man fans are saying this is a masterpiece, 10 out of 10 classic. Everyone else is saying it's a 7 to 8 out of 10 very good movie, which very much tracks with the reviews that we just saw, where we have influencers and more Spider-Man fans saying this is the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2 and everything, while more of the critics were saying there are some setbacks, but this is still a very good piece. But what about some more mixed reviews, where we have Popbase, their reviewer, said that Tom Holland delivers a very strong performance. We see that again. The direction is very great and the action's fantastic as well. However, there is some thin storylines in here and some underused Spider-Man mythos, which would make sense with some comments saying that the movie is a bit overstuffed and everything. And then we have another review where it says Spider-Man Brand New Day is a mixed bag, saying that it does evoke the very best and worst of Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, where we have an amazing set of great Spider-Man stuff, but then the story starts to get a bit jumbled, which given a lot of these reviews, it's looking like we have a Dark Knight Rises similarity on our hands, where we have a great exploration of the character himself, but there is some convoluted storylines in here making things feel a bit thin, where in Dark Knight Rises we had so many different villains, where Catwoman and Talia al Ghul felt a bit weak in general, and then same thing here, we have so many people, Punisher, Hulk, Scorpion, whoever Sadie Sink is playing, we have a bunch of different characters here, so I can see where this movie could be convoluted, and bringing my thoughts and fears from looking at the trailers. Now we have one more reaction here that concerns me a bit, saying that Spider-Man Brand New Day is truly an episode 1 of what is sure to be a crazy series. You have to enjoy this movie more as an episode than a standalone film, which very much concerns me because people were saying that Ant-Man Quantumania felt like an episode 1 for something bigger starting phase 5, which obviously these are completely different movies, and the reactions to this movie are much more glowing than they were for Quantumania. However, I don't like seeing episode 1 for any movie because I want to enjoy it as its own. I don't want to have to be doing homework in my head at what this connects to and what this is going to connect to. Now, granted, that's the only review or reaction that I have seen say that. However, that is something that does concern me. So with these Spider-Man Brand New Day reactions, I have to say, even though I take reactions with a grain of salt, and I encourage you to form your own opinion whether you are excited or weary about this one, I do think these reactions do signal that this is going to be a fun movie regardless, that has a trusted director doing very commonly good things that he normally does, although the story can feel a bit convoluted. So if you are a diehard Spider-Man fan, you are undoubtedly going to love this movie. If you like Spider-Man and you like all that stuff, but you're more on kind of the critic side of things, you're probably going to enjoy this movie, as it has a 3.6 on Letterboxd as it currently stands when this video was uploaded. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content like this, and also comment your thoughts on how excited you are for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and we will see you all later.